Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. I hope you all are having such a blessed day today. Um, I want to hop on here really quick and I want to read a message from our Most High and just discuss a few things with you all that the Most High has laid on my heart to just start coming back out and just, going hard with our community and just talking and explaining because, things that He's showing all of us because He's getting us prepared for His promise and His new world and His new world order. So, um, I hope that you all stick with me through this because I think it's very important. The words that he gave me and I'm reading about, and some of the things he's been talking to me about. I know one thing I haven't been is obedient to him. I have not been coming on here and, reading his word and putting things out. Um, so he gives me a flood of information, and sometimes I can get lost in what he's saying, and I'm not sure if someone can resonate with this, but whenever I get all this information, it's so overwhelming sometimes that I take a step back and I'm telling him like this, sometimes this is too much for me, and then he comes back and say, no, it's not. You're gonna continue to keep doing what I'm asking you to do. I've prepared you from a child to do this. And and I get it and I understand. And if you're not obedient to his word, he knows how to make it hard for you. Um in so many different ways. And 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 um I don't want to push back against the Most High. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, you don't want to not be obedient to Him. Um, so, the first thing I want to do before I get into some of the things that He has, you know, told me, and I do want to share it with you all, is to read some of the scriptures that I have been studying on. And I'm going to be reading from Jeremiah 5, starting at verse 14. And I don't have my glasses on, my reading glasses, so, bear with me while I stumble through these words. I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to start reading here at verse 14. And it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from afar, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. It is a mighty nation, it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understandeth what they say. Their quiver is an open sepulchre. They are almighty men, and they shall eat up thine harvest and thy bread, which thy sons and thy daughters should eat. They shall eat up the flocks and thy herds. They shall eat up thy vines and thy fig trees. They shall impoverish the fortified cities, wherein thou trusted with the sword. Nevertheless, is those days, said the Lord, I will not make a full end with you. And it shall come to pass when ye shall say, why doth the Lord our God all these things unto us? Then shalt thou answer them and say, as ye have forsaken me and served strange gods in your land, you shall serve strangers in a land that is not yours. And I read until the 19th verse. So it's verse 14 through 19. And I do encourage you to continue to keep reading further because I got chills and shivers when I read that. And I always pray that the Most High give me understanding and wisdom whenever He's bringing these things to me. And it helps me to understand better, and how to get that message out to everyone else. So I hope and pray that those words, resonate with you, and pray for wisdom and understanding, and just find a quiet place to just sit and listen to the Lord speak. So, with what He is saying there, I think what He's showing me is that in the time that we are living in now, I want you to understand how He does not want history to repeat itself. And the only way that history will not repeat itself is that we have to learn from our past. So I know I hear, some people say, well, the Old Testament is not important. We have a new covenant and we should be paying attention to that. But then I go back and question, well, why are we forgetting the Old Testament, and just dealing with the New Testament, but you still are preaching from it? Because what I understand, what is old is the past, and we have to learn from the past to see how we got here. And there's so many untruths that are being spread to us, and we are actually believing this, that the Most High broke His covenant with that He had, in the Old Testament with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and now He's a New Testament and He forgot about His chosen. I'm going to keep studying on that, because it's like, with everything that we're figuring out, everything that has been shown to us, is that really true? And I want to challenge us to start picking up this Bible, start picking up the Sefer and reading it and understanding what the Most High said. And we have to have discernment in that, because this book has been touched and it has been altered. There has been books that have been removed. And when you're telling a story, when you're reading a book, if you go in and start removing chapters out of a book, how are you getting the full understanding of that book? That makes no sense to me. So I challenge myself to dig deeper and look further into His word, because He said in the last days He is going to reveal the truth, and the truth shall set us free. He put us to sleep. He told us that He was going to make us forget who we are, but He will return one day and wake us up. And that time is now, because I'm seeing a movement of information that is coming. And I'm so thankful to our people that are going in here and they are actually doing the work to learn and put this information out. Sometimes we're not going to agree with everything that each other are saying, but we're doing the work. And the Most High is so proud of us. Even if we're coming out wrong, trust me, He's going to come back and correct us, like He's done with me so many times. And so what He told me is that when you're on these platforms and you're watching and listening and gathering all this information, I will give you the gift of discernment. But what I want you to be able to do is listen to your brothers and your sisters, because they are literally doing the work to learn. So what I want to encourage is that instead of, shooting each other down and, what this person is saying is not right, understand that the Most High people is doing the work to learn. and understand. So I think some of the mainstream media, we need to start, disengaging with that. What I use local news for now is pretty much to see what the weather is. And half the time they're not even predicting that correctly. So I watch the sky, I watch the animals, and I see how they move, and then I know how I need to move. So I'm thankful for this. And the things that the Most High showed me, especially as a child, that I'm starting to get now, I'm starting to understand that I wasn't different back then. He was just holding me. Like he holds so many of us because he's preparing us for this time that we're in now. And even though it looks like a scary time, even though it looks like I wonder what's going to happen to us after they're doing, this to this person or this group, and, or some people are looking at, this like, hey, at least it ain't happening to me. One thing that I've known is that if one person gossips, that they'll never change. They'll still be that same person. They're gonna go and gossip to somebody else too. They're gonna be spreading gossip everywhere. That's the way I feel. If you're doing this with one person, you're gonna do it with all, because there's an agenda behind everything. But the thing that's so beautiful about this, and it's kind of like when COVID hit, and I feel for the people that it did directly affect, in not such a good way. But I know that I have to move with what the Most High is doing, and I have to trust Him. And it's kind of like during that time when He was back in August, right before COVID hit, He said, I'm angry and I'm about to do something. And I was scared back then because my life was changing, but it wasn't quite there. And whenever COVID hit, I was like, oh my God, this is true, because I was using God back then, but I was like, this is really happening. And it was the scariest thing. And then He said, calm down. He said, the blood is on the door. He said, I just need you to sit and be quiet and be still. And when I tell you, it was the most peaceful time of my life, and I felt Him. The way that He was with Israel whenever He led them out of Egypt, and He was with a cloud during the day and a fire by night, and they knew that He was with them through all of that. It's almost going to make me cry, but through all of that, He protected my family that I could not see. He protected me. He protected so many out there in our community. And it just takes me back to whenever He was leading Israel out of Egypt, and He was protecting them the whole time. And I do apologize for crying, but I can feel the Spirit, in this room at this moment. And I'm the type of person, I want to come out here and I want to show a good face. I don't want to cry in front of anybody, but whenever you're speaking with Him, and He's like, you're saying exactly what I need you to say right now, I can feel His Spirit just in this room at this moment. And I want you all to take this in what He is saying. And I hope I don't ugly cry, because I will do it boo-hoo everywhere. But He is definitely speaking, and I know I'm on the right track now, so I'm going to get my train of thought back. Right now, what He is telling me is that there was two visions that he gave me, and there was a little snippet that he gave me, y'all. And I have it on past videos. And he is showing what is about to happen. He wants you to get into his word. He wants you to start reading. And this is going to show him that you're serious about him. Get on your knees. Know his name. Know his son's name. Acknowledge him. And ask him to begin to start revealing to you what direction and what he needs for you to do. We have to, in my community especially, we need to start respecting each other. We need to start listening to each other. We need to become on one accord immediately. He's going to give us instructions on where we need to be and what we need to do. There's spiritual warfare that is coming towards us, and a lot of us is not seeing it. We're not preparing. He wants us to stop buying things. He wants us to start learning how to live with the bare minimum. He wants you to start cutting your meals. He wants you to start eating fruits and vegetables. He wants you to learn how to start growing your own food. He wants you to start looking into different herbs that he has given us to heal our bodies and our health. He basically wants us to take it back to the beginning and put all of your trust and your faith in him. Do not worry about what the world is doing at this time. He wants you to separate yourself from this world, because you need to separate yourself from what you are seeing happening and come over to him at this point and see what's going on in his world and how he needs for us to move going forward. I had something different to talk to you all about, and it immediately changed. So it was broken a little bit what I gave you. But what he is saying is that he needs for you to prepare. He needs for you to not go through this world blindly going forward. It's not about how much money you're going to make. It's not about the new clothes that you're going to get. It's not about the plans that you're making to go on vacations. He needs for you to get serious right now. And you need to sit back, be still, and listen to what he has to say. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this video where it is, because I don't want to mess up the message that he just gave me. I will be coming back with more, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to fill me with a lot of guidance that we're going to need in our community. Focusing on the word, focusing on being in his world, and what next steps we need to take. If you haven't seen my earlier videos when I started this, I spoke about visions that he gave me. I want you to go back and look at those. I'm not worried about YouTube and what they could do for me. They can't do anything for me because he's already given me everything that I need. So this is not a hobby. This is how he said he was going to get his word out. Only thing you got to do is watch the video. At this point, you don't even have to like and subscribe, because it's not about that. I'm going to continue to keep bringing his word. You all be blessed.